They say this is a big rich town. Yeah, I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. Listen, y'all, we got the same intro and everything. Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is my review for Power Book 2, Ghost, Season 1, Episode 1. I can't give y'all a rundown on, where we picked up off of, where we left off and all of that. But we picking back up with Tariq in college. He's at school now at Standsfield, which is Simon's alma mater. I just ate. Sorry, y'all. But we pick back up there, and he gets this text from Simon telling him that he has a meeting with his dean, and I want to say it was like in an hour or like it was. He didn't have time to lollygag, but he got a meeting with Simon in a minute, and we see Tasha. Tasha is in jail, and she got on her orange jumpsuit, and she's being escorted by her CO to arraignment, and the CO is being a bitch. Like, girl, you ain't getting out. Girl, I done heard that before, done seen it all before, done heard it all before. You're guilty. I'll see you when you get back. Then we see Tariq and Grandma and Yaz outside the courthouse, waiting on the steps for Tamika, because Tamika is Tasha's lawyer now. They're waiting out there, and Granny and Yaz, come home, Tariq, we need you. And then Yaz got some more, this is a different Yaz too. I don't know who this Yaz is, but this ain't the Yaz that we've known all this time. But this Yaz has something to say. Come home, Tariq. Come home. Maybe she gonna say a lot more now that, this is something else. Maybe she gonna have more to add. Cause y'all really could have got rid of Yaz and Raina. If we being real, because the only one that has something to give to the show is Tariq. They really ain't even really need to have them other two kids. It's not my show though, so let me just do the review. Tamika, is letting them know, what's about to happen, what to expect. Tasha is going to, plead guilty. She's going to admit to being the shooter. But it was, due to self-defense. And she's agreed to do this, so this is what we're doing. Then she tells Tariq that she's going to have to say some, make some disparaging remarks about James. And, Tariq don't care about that. So he ain't worried about that. Not at all. Then now we at arraignment. And the prosecuting attorney is laying it on real thick. Like, she's painting Tasha out to be a sociopath. Like she's, the leader in all of this, and she planned it all, and she executed it all, and she just doing a lot. And Tamika, counters all of that, and now she got to throw out there everything that James has done in the past, and who he was and who he is, and the fact that he done put his hands on her the day before it happened. So yeah, he had it coming. Prosecution looking surprised because they ain't did their due diligence. They don't know nothing about ghosts. And the judge is like, well, looks like you should have done some reading up on this. And Tamika's like, thank you. Don't thank me now. Don't thank me now. Bail denied. She will be remanded, so don't get excited. And that was like, girl, you could have let that lady go home to her kids. But she said she's on trial for murder, so she's not going home to her kids. Whatever, judge. Whatever. Tariq gets another text from Simon. He got to go because now the meeting in 20 minutes. Then we see Tasha, Tamika, and the prosecuting attorney, and I don't know what her name is, but the lady from the DA's office she sits down with them, and Tamika is asking for criminally negligent homicide and felony. She's just gonna do a little probation. That's all we got. And then the prosecuting attorney is like, now girl, we can do man too, and I'll ask for 5 years, but that's all. That's the best that I can do. And then Tamika's like, oh really? So she starts whipping out all of these pictures, all these crime scene photos, this trail of bodies that James has left behind, because not all of them were done by James, because Keisha's picture is in there too. Tasha looking at it like, so I guess we gonna throw that in there too. I guess we gonna pin that on him too. She don't care. He dead. She has a little guilt on her face, like, I'm really about to frame this dead man. Like, I'm really about to, paint him to be what he is. Don't even feel guilty about it, Tasha, because Ghost really had it coming. He really had it coming. Tariq, he runs to his meeting, and when he gets there, the dean, she's a black woman, and Simon is there, and she's, oh, you're late. Black students cannot be laid up in here. We have to be the best. We have to be exceptional. That speech that we give our black kids. You have to be better than them. You have to work harder, twice as harder, because you just got to be the best. Always. And I didn't like that she was having that conversation in front of Simon, mainly because it's Simon and he's racist. Like, don't give him any ammunition to be more racist. Aside from that, I get sick of that. I don't like that whole narrative, because it's like, how can we get our kids to assimilate and fit in with them? They can be themselves. They can be boisterous. They can be loud. They can be all of those things. They don't have to be poised and cool, calm, and collect all the time, because that's what the white folks want. They want us to be, meek and mild. No. He late, and let's just get to it. And the stipulation of him being there, he's there to tutor a basketball player. I guess this guy's the star athlete at the school, and he doesn't have he don't have to go to class. That's Tariq's job. Tariq's job is to tutor him in all subjects, take all of his tests, write all of his papers, and so now he has to do the boys' work, because it's gonna be his roommate. They're gonna make him move in together. He has to do all his work and his work. So, and Simon's like, if he don't play, you don't stay. So he really has to buckle down. And the dude's name is Ezekiel. Tariq heads to meet his advisor, and while he's on his way, he's standing there lost, and he sees this girl. This girl stops to help him. The girl is, I don't know the girl. I want to call her Tasha, but I don't think that was her name. The girl from Everybody Hates Chris. She lived next door to Chris. I don't remember what her name is, but on here she Lauren. He meets her, and she gives him the rundown on where he's going, because she's going in that direction. So she's gonna walk him to his advisor, and she notices, I guess they got the same major, I don't know, but she notices that they have a class in common. And when she gets to her class, she tells him about the black people, I guess 3 or 4 black kids in the class, including her and including Tariq. And she's like, it's refreshing to have another, like somebody black like this and not like this in the class, because she needs somebody else like that in the class to defend all of us when one of the other white students has something slick to say, or when they just get a little ignorant and they go their separate ways. I don't even know, because she gonna text him later on in the episode, and I didn't even remember him getting her number. But that's that stuff that they be doing on these shows. Like, we didn't see him get her number. How all of a sudden she texting him? That's just lazy writing. When Tariq meets with his advisor, she's a black woman as well, and he's kind of like, all right, y'all gonna just have me meet with everybody black? I know I've been the only black kid at the school. This isn't new to me. I'm used to that. And she's like, no, it's not only that. It's, you lost your dad. Your mother is, in jail for his murder. You lost your sister. You've been through a lot. So she gonna psychoanalyze him too. He asks her about this program that he can join, where it's basically like almost like a dual enrollment, like when you in high school and you take college courses, you know, get you a little bit ahead. But I forgot the name of the program, but he wants to get in and you have to test in. You know, she's like, that's gonna be a lot of work. Like, it's hard work. People don't, you know, stick around for the program, you know, like, and he's a freshman. So she's just like, I mean, okay, if you want to do that, cool. Like, I'm sure she's impressed with, you know, his drive. Cause she's like, I mean, you got plenty of time. This is college. Like, why are you in such of a rush, you know, to get out, you know? And he just tells her, I got to take care of my family. I have to take care of my family. I got an inheritance I'm waiting on, and I got to take care of my family. So that's what the rush is. Sign me up for the test, please. So she gonna sign him up. Then the DA, we see her. Well, no, we see the prosecuting attorney meeting with was she meeting with Tasha? I think they always meet. I can't remember, but the DA has agreed to 4 years probation for criminally negligent homicide. But she still has to allocute. Oh, this was Tamika telling her. And Tamika, you know, it's like, so you got to be honest. You got to be upfront. She can tell that there's some holes in Tasha's story. And she can also tell that something isn't right. So she's just like, she randomly asks her, you know, how did you know that he would be alone? And Tasha's like, what does that matter? Because it matters. That lady can ask you anything in front of that judge after you know, allocute and give yours, because we saw that happen as well. She can just go ahead. Can we probe? Can I ask some questions, judge? And judge can be like, sure. And then she can just ask that same question. How did you know that he would be there alone? And then what you gonna do? Perjure yourself again? Tamika's like, I can't stand for the perjury. I can't. You going to jail and then I'm gonna lose my license. So nah, lying is what we not gonna do. So I'm going to need for you to be completely honest with me and completely honest, you know, when you allocute. Tasha fires her. You fired, Tamika, girl. You fired. That's just that. You fired. She's like, well, girl, I mean, you're going to have to find yourself another good lawyer because the deal is going to be gone. All right, cool. You fired. So that's just that. Tasha always doing something like that. Now, why would you fire that lady? She got you the best deal you was going to ever get. Whatever. Then we see METHODMAN. I think that's how he be saying his name. Method Man. His name is Davis on here. Method Man is representing this white man, and you know he's being a good, you know, sneaky, slimy defense attorney. You know how it is. Just he probably a criminal himself, but he's, you know, the what's the man name? Johnny Cochran, I guess you would say. He's the Johnny Cochran in their little world. You know, he's a very famous defense attorney. And Tariq is, you know, sitting there watching him, you know, and the man gets the guy off, and so Tariq is really impressed. And, you know, he run up on him at, you know, after his case, you know, like, my mom is in trouble. I want to pay you. I want to hire you for her. And he like, boy, get out of here. Stay in school. And pat him on the shoulder. Stay in school. Give him a little couple little words of advice, you know, and tries to go on about his business. And Tariq is like, I said I'm trying to hire you. And he's like, well, my retainer is $500K. Now, when you get that, you can come back and talk to me. And so he walk off. Tariq won't take, Tariq is looking through boxes. I'm sorry. He's looking through boxes at his grandmother's house, his house. He over there with his grandma, but he's looking through boxes and looking for the books, the old books to Tasha's daycare. But grandma want to talk about the funeral and all of that. That scene was really pointless. I ain't even finna rehash it. Tasha calls, and she tells him, that she fired Tamika and all of that. And, of course, now he worried. So what we gonna do? Like, what am I supposed to do to help you? And he brings up the daycare, and Tasha's like, listen, focus on school. Don't you be worried about bringing in no money, opening back up the daycare. You go back to school. That's what you can do for me. Stay in school. Get that degree. That's what you can do. That's the only thing I want you doing. Tariq ends up taking information. I forgot what that girl's name was. I don't know why I want to call her like Skittles or something like that. But Epiphany, that was her name. Epiphany. From last, the little ghetto girl that worked at the strip club, but she, was leaving her baby at Tasha's daycare, and she was, moving a little cocaine for her at the strip club. Yeah, her. He got her information because Tariq trying to get back in business. Then we see the counselor. She goes to advocate for Tariq to get, to be able to take the test. She goes to another, I guess he a dean. I don't know. He was fine. But anyway, she goes to see him. And apparently the two of them are, used to be an item, and now they're not. Her choice, not his, and he's very bitter about it. So he gonna give her a hard time. He's like, I don't care. He's not here for the privileged kids, trying to, just get in the program and people bending over backwards for him just because he's privileged. And she's like, it ain't his fault he privileged. Like, you're gonna make him pay for that? Like, it's not his fault, but he has been through this, that, and the third. Like, you don't want to help another young brother? He's like, no. I'm not impressed with that. Not doing it. And then she's like, don't make this about us. He's like, it's not about us. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But he agrees, to at least meet the boy. And he says if he's impressed, then he'll help. Advocate to Oliver. I guess Oliver is the man in charge, but he said he gonna at least do that. Then we see Tariq. He meets with Effie tackhead ass. Effie is the girl that got him in trouble last season at Choke, who snitched on him and all of that and got him put out. That's Effie. He go to see her, about moving some more product. And she has the nerve to come out there with some, if you ever want to talk, then I'm here. He was like, girl, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. What I want to talk to you about? How you got me kicked out of school? Like, what we talking about? And she going, it's not personal. It's just business. Okay, well, this just business. And he don't even pay for the product she gives him. He just takes it and tells her it's just business. So there's that, because she still try to act like she's sweet on him. I wasn't lying about how much I liked you. Girl, when you like somebody, you don't do that. that is what you don't do. So you can forget it with Tariq. Even though I don't know, Tariq probably, I feel like he gonna be bouncing back and forth from Lauren and Effie, because he liked that Effie girl too. When Tariq gets back to his room, his friend, the old friend, is there at his school as well. And then he's like, what you doing here? That friend, I think this was his roommate over there at Choke. But anyway, this friend, has, his family is well connected, and, they got a whole stadium named after them. So that's why he's at Standsfield. But, Tariq is excited to see a familiar face in his room, but, not for too long, because he has to move out. Oh, okay. Said all of that. Tariq sleep, wake up late again. So he's late for his entrance exam for the little program he's trying to get into. And when he gets there, they talk to him, and he was supposed to read this book. I think the name of the book was called The Stranger. He was supposed to read it, and he was just honest, like, I didn't finish it. So that alone, they kind of, wrote him off. Not his advisor, but the other two guys, Oliver and the other guy. They kind of wrote him off a little bit because he didn't finish the book. He had things to say about it. He had an opinion on certain things, but they weren't taking him serious, or they ain't really want to hear it because you ain't even finished the book. So how you gonna have an opinion on anything when you didn't finish it? His advisor, however, she's like, well, give him a second chance, because the black guy, he was impressed with what he did say, but still on that, well, he still didn't read the book. Now, he did have some insightful things to say, but he ain't finished the book. So he's like on the fence with him. Oliver, on the other hand, don't want to hear it, ain't here for it, bring me somebody else. But they gonna let him do it one more time. They gonna give him a second chance. Tasha meets with a public defender, and she's, can you get me the same deal Tamika got me? And public defender always got all this paperwork, all these cases she lugging around, and so much work. And then the prosecuting attorney just straight up just come in there, basically like, oh, that deal is off the table, and any deal that you ever thought you was gonna get is off the table, because we done found some new evidence. There's been some new, forensic evidence to come in, and you not even tall enough to be the shooter. Like, the shooter had to be 6 feet tall, so it's not you. So unless you gonna have to tell me real quick who the shooter is. And she just say Andre, and I'm like, damn, she didn't get the word that Andre is in an urn somewhere, like he is burnt to a crisp. Girl, you can't just be everybody throwing Andre name out there, and he did. But I guess she didn't know at the time. I don't know. Then we see Saxe, John, and the guy from the DNC in Saxe's office, and they basically coming in there to strong arm him into serving Tasha with a RICO warrant that they done, trumped up on her. And he's like, she's not in charge of this. Saxe got their back, because Saxe is involved in this, since he ain't have no business being down there at Truth pulling out a gun, because he was going to kill Ghost after he lost his job and all of that. So Tariq seeing him there, now he's being blackmailed himself, so he has to fall in line. So he can't let Tasha go down for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, then everything else is gonna, it's a trickling down effect. Everybody gonna be called to the fire, because the DNC don't want none of that coming out. They don't want anything that has, that traces back to them, or they don't want anything tarnishing what they got going on. But Saxe is like, he's like, he believes Tasha. He ain't here for it. He's gonna let the DA do what the DA's been doing. Then we see Tariq moving into his new room with his new roommate in there, busting it down with some random girl. I mean, he don't know to put the sock on the door. He don't know to let somebody know that you in there getting down. No, he wants you to bust in, because he didn't mind Tariq standing there. And the girl was like, can he leave? While she bent over. Girl. Anyway, Saxe, we see him having dinner with his family, and his family is terrible. Everybody, except for his dad. His dad is supportive and loving, and so is his mother. But his siblings, oh no, they don't see it for him. They teasing him, bullying him. They're there to celebrate him and his promotion, but they still got to make jokes and make it seem like he's the screw up of the family. Then we see Ezekiel taking Tariq to his family's house in Brooklyn for his little celebration for getting into Standsfield. And it's packed out, a nice little packed out party. Tariq, meets a few of his cousins, few of his family members. He meets one of his cousins, this girl named, I forgot what the girl's name is, but I think her name was Diana, something like that. But he meets her, and she already off the top, off rip, skinning and grinning and, smitten. Like, she was interested at first sight. And so is he. So, she's walking him around the house now, giving him the rundown. Her brother's name is Kane. Kane is played by, what's his name? His name Woody. He from Atlanta. No, he not from Atlanta. He from Florida. He played Bobby Brown in the New Edition, adaptation. So he's in this, and I love him, so I know he's gonna be great in this role that he's there. He gives bad boy. He does that and plays that real well. But that's his cousin, and that's Diana's brother. He in there. He was in the bathroom in the house getting some head from somebody else's girlfriend, and then said girlfriend's boyfriend done showed up to the party looking for her like, "Hey, where's Keisha?" And they like, "Look like you need to keep tabs on your girl. Don't be asking me where your girl is." And then she come tiptoeing out like she just wasn't in there in the wrong. He like, "All right, bet." So he gonna leave. They tussle a little bit. It's a fight now, and everybody outside watching it. And then here come Auntie Mary. Auntie Mary J. Blige come out there. Did we find out what her name is? I don't think we did. We didn't. We didn't find out what her name is yet. But she come out there, you already know what to do. Because Rail, the girl's boyfriend, he left, I'm sure, to go get the tools. And so you better go get yours too for when he come back. Because he is going to come back. Tariq and the girl, I think her name is Diana, his cousin, they inside the house. And she's, showing him pictures. They talking. He sees a picture of the entire family. And a picture of her dad, who looks like he's in jail at the time. And he is in prison serving time, for, she said, you know what. I'm assuming it's drugs or murder or both. But I'm thinking he's, he was a gang leader himself. But I don't know. But that's her daddy. They Puerto Rican and black. And he takes a notice, in her dad, because like they really like zoom in on it and everything, so they want us to see him. Then we see Sax. He meets with Tamika and tells her everything, everything that's going on. And he tells her, he basically hints at the fact that he was, at the scene of the crime when James was killed. She put him out. She don't want to hear nothing. Don't be trying to tell me no details. Get out. I don't know you. She was like, I don't know you. Get out. Don't be coming up in here. Pamela James ain't seen shit. Tariq and his friend, the white boy, they at the strip club. He got to go up there and give Epiphany, the product for her to sell. So that's a go. Kane, we see him. First we see Rail. It looked like he, coming from work or whatever. He's in this stairwell, and then Kane comes out of nowhere and shoots him dead. Shoots him about 4 times, and just stand over him like, you bitch, and going on about his business. Get back in the car with Auntie Mary, and they roll on about their business. So they done killed the man. It wasn't enough to fight. No, they got to just get rid of him, I guess. We're going to figure out who they are. Then we see Tariq. He moving like his daddy with his 2 phones, one for the hose and one for the plug. He texting Lauren on one phone and then texting Effie or he was texting somebody about them drugs on the other line. But he got a coffee date with Lauren. He's skinning and grinning about that. Then we see Sax meet with the prosecuting attorney, and they, then they got to, rehash and talk about Tasha's case a little bit. We see Lauren and Tariq. They are, they went for their breakfast or whatever, and then she's there, or she was sent there, as a buffer, I guess. Talk to me about the book, because she's read it. I'm assuming she's in the program. But, they talk about the book. He read it now. So they have a really nice conversation about it. Real good dialogue. And she's just like, yeah, you should say that when you get in there. Get in there and say all of that. And you're going to get into class. Sax pops up on Tariq, though, while they're there. And, pulls him to the back. And they got to talk. We got to talk about, what's going down. And, he tells him, about his worries, with Tasha's case. Like, she might be going to jail if something don't change around here, like she's gonna have to be honest. They know. Them people know that there was an accomplice. So who was it? Do you know who it was? Who was it? And he first tries to say Dre. Can't be Dre. That's a lie. We already know where he is. So she gonna have to be honest, or it's not gonna work out. Of course, Tariq's still threatening him. Like, listen, I would hate to have to tell the DA's office that I saw you. Like, I don't want to have to, but I will. He's still threatening him. So Sax is still, on a string. Then we see Tariq, back in his room, and he wants to use Zeke's phone to get on social media because Zeke has, a huge following. So he gets on there and gets on his live, basically like, "Woo! I'm so excited!" The famous attorney Davis, what was his name? Davis McClain took his mama's case. So he was lying. Everybody is commenting like, "Wow, that's great." Blah blah blah. What he did, of course, was gonna work. He gonna back the man into a corner. Then we see he has his second chance, and he articulates himself very well. Like Oliver was sitting back. Oliver was sitting back, real impressed. Like, tell me more. And the advisor and the other black man, they just proud. They just proud of the young black king, doing what he came to school to do. So he impressed them like she said he would. Then we see Davis getting all of these texts. Method Man, by the way. He getting all these texts, people congratulating him and people telling him, like, that's the move. This is going to be great for your career. And he sees the post. So he's like, damn, this nigga he didn't really back me into a corner. So now I got to represent his mama. Tariq, pays him. I don't know if he paid him everything, but he ends up giving him something. And tells him, make sure you save my mama. And make sure my mama take the deal, by the way. Make sure she gets another good deal, kind of the same deal she got when Tamika was representing her. Davis goes to Tasha, and he tells her the same thing. You're gonna have to tell the truth. Tasha's still trying to act like she can just lie her way out of this. No, you're gonna have to give him somebody. You're gonna have to find somebody in the Rolodex to blame this on. Can't be a dead person. It ain't you, because you ain't tall enough. So who is it? You need to tell me, of all people. Then at court, Tasha comes in there, and when she sees Sax, like, she's surprised to see him. She has a very puzzled look on her face. And she allocutes or whatever, and they ask her about the shooter. Does she know? And she, sits there and she look over there at Tariq. He gives her the look like it's okay, because Tariq told Davis to tell her, be honest. Tell them, who the shooter is, and I'm okay with you doing that. I was thinking that he was just trying to take the fall. I don't know, but she flipped it, and she done blamed Tommy Egan now. So now that you blame Tommy Egan, now the lady has a follow-up question. And it's, why? Oh, because I told him to. Davis was like, girl, you're talking too much. You're talking too much. DNC and Sax over there waiting in the shadows with the warrant. He just waiting on her to slip up. The DNC man, that is, waiting on her to slip up. And so she does. And the prosecuting attorney, they drop the charges on her. And Sax just walks up and arrests and puts her under arrest again. With the RICO warrant. And everybody like, me included, because girl, why you just won't stick with the fucking script? Stick with the plan. Like, you ain't told nobody you was gonna get the blame and Tommy. And why? Like, now you gonna be his enemy? Tommy is in the wind. And now you gonna drag him back, kicking and screaming. That was so stupid of Tasha. Like, I just, sometimes she really, But I guess she can't get out on the first episode because, I mean, isn't she supposed to be in jail, I guess, for the remainder of it, or for the most part, I would say. I don't know, but I guess it was too soon for her to be getting out. So, yes, she back going back to jail. that CEO was waiting for her at the door. Come on, welcome back, girl. I knew you would be back. Welcome home. She take her to her cell. But Davis, he's got his work cut out for him, and he tells Tariq, you owe me $450K. Like, that was that, and now this is it. Now we really got to dive in. We're gonna really be going to federal court at that. Now the feds is involved. He tells Sax, you know good and well this ain't no federal case. You know good and well. Sax can't. It's nothing he can do about it. Like right there in that moment. But hopefully, he gonna figure out a way to get that dropped as well. Cause she wasn't the one. They just want one of them St. Patrick's to go down for all of that drug dealing. They really want that. Like, by any means necessary, somebody got to go to jail for selling all that cocaine. Somebody got to go to jail for it. That was it, y'all. That was the first episode. It was a lot to unpack. I'm going to try to figure out a way to unpack it, as easily and quickly as possible. But you get what you get, okay? Anyway, I got to watch Potomac. Even though y'all ain't watching the review. So why should I review it? Y'all ain't watching it. I'm going to still review it. Because 24 people watched it. 14 people watched it. So somebody watching it. But the majority, y'all ain't checking for it. Don't like it. Don't want to watch it. Cool. Anyway, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.